The Artemis 2 mission rumbled, roared, and rocketed into the sky at dusk on Wednesday, beginning a journey around the moon and back. Four astronauts are aboard for the first human rendezvous with the moon since the last Apollo spaceflight in 1972. We have a beautiful moonrise, Mission Commander Reed Wiseman said shortly after liftoff. We're headed right at it. The crew will travel more than 250,000 miles from Earth, farther than any other human beings in history. Our family watched the Artemis launch through glossy eyes. To see that rocket soar into the spring sky, bearing human beings into outer space, reminded us. While we see scenes every day of rockets that deliver destruction and death across the globe, human minds can also send rockets into the heavens on missions of discovery. The launch made us think of all the mechanics, physicists, doctors, designers, engineers, technicians, and safety experts working for federal agencies, companies, and universities, and everyone who taught them and encouraged their dreams so they could build the rocket and capsule that carried Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen safely into space. I've spoken with many astronauts over the years. They're often pilots and scientists who are moved to poetics to tell us how beholding Earth from outer space can shake the human soul and make us wonder where we fit in the universe. The 24 astronauts who've been to the moon have seen our blue Earth look tiny, tiny against a black velvet background of space. As Michael Collins, who flew on the Apollo 11 missions, described it to us in 2019. Oh, and the Apollo 11 mission described it to us in 2019. Apollo 14 pilot Ed Mitchell saw Earth from the moon's orbit as a sparkling blue and white jewel, a delicate sky blue sphere laced with slowly swirling veils of white rising gradually like a small pearl in a thick sea of black mystery. The fact that just from the distance of the moon you can put your thumb up and you can hide the Earth behind your thumb, marveled Jim Lovell, who orbited the moon on the Apollo 8 and Apollo 13 missions. But then how fortunate we are to have this body and to be able to enjoy living here amongst the beauty of the Earth itself. To watch Earth itself. To watch Artemis soar into the skies this week was to get a glimpse of the hopes of humanity ascending too. All right, thank you. You know, when Elise, our oldest, was like 2 years old, we met Jim Lovell in the buffet line at a hotel. And I said, I've got to ask you, could you please hold our baby? Did. And then a number of years later, I interviewed him. Elise was a teenager by then. And I said, I don't expect you to remember this, but, and I told him about that. And he said, well, I can't say I remember that, but I've got to tell you, it's happened to me so many times over the years. Our 19-year-old, yes. Yes. Yeah, she is. Yeah, I mean, she could be an astronaut for the European Space Agency. Yeah, I know. She's, yeah. Yes, we are indeed. And his brother, too, for that matter. You know what what he calls me? Well, because we did a story years ago where I flew aboard the Space Shuttle simulator and met with a group of astronauts for drinks after so they order pitchers of beer. And of course, knowing what stereotype I'm supposed to embody, I said, "Oh, do you have a little white wine?" This is at a bar in Houston. And in any event, to this day, that now retired astronaut calls me Mr. White Wine. Hi there, Mr. White Wine. Yeah, I know. Well, very good to be with everybody. We're going to keep you on for our show billboards now. No, Substack. better, better video. Yes. Okay. Yes, there is a Canadian award, Artemis. From NPR News in Washington, D.C., this is Weekend Edition. I'm Scott Simon. This hour, the latest on the war in Iran, Ron Elving on the weekend politics, and then Maria de Jesus Estrada Juarez, a mother recently illegally deported, reunited with her daughter. What they went through, what they feel now. Also, a death in London that reveals the city's underside. Then Bruce Hornsby's new album includes songs based on basketball chants. Bonnie Raitt chants along too.
Want to write a song using those tunes. And so I did, and I thought Bonnie, if she was into it, then I wanted her to do it. And
First, we have our newscast. Today is Saturday, April 4, 2026. All right. Now, hour two. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. That story is heartbreaking. Yeah, I love Bonnie Raitt.
Alex,
From NPR News in Washington, D.C., this is Weekend Edition. I'm Scott Simon. This hour, the latest from the war in Iran, and later, sports, a Final Four, and a championship this weekend. Then Jonathan, the 94-year-old tortoise, lives beyond reports of his demise. Philip, oh my God, how could I make that mistake? Yeah, 194, yeah. I mean, a 94-year-old tortoise, right? Yeah, right, exactly. It's like a 9-year-old tortoise, yeah. All right, yeah. From NPR News in Washington, D.C., this is Weekend Edition. I'm Scott Simon. This hour, the latest from the war in Iran. Later, sports, the Final Four, and a championship this weekend. Then Jonathan, the 194-year-old tortoise, lives beyond reports of his demise. Philip C. Stead's new novel with the title Too Long to Say Here. And Kevin Kline says he'd hoped his new series, American Classic, wouldn't show actors just as vain buffoons.
labored under the delusion that I'll have a chance to kind of undo all the wrongness that cinema has done to actors over the years. But
And first, we have our newscast. Today is Saturday, April 4, 2026. Yeah, what's a century? Thank you, Rhonda Scott Marak. All right. So, thanks for being with us. It's a beautiful day for a radio show. Let's do 2 today and a podcast. So, thanks very much for being with us. Oh, yeah, he does play a great painter. I told him, I don't know if this makes it into the final edit. It reminded me a little bit also of his character in Soap Dish, which remains one of my favorite films of all time. Oh, thanks, Klaatu, forever. Azar, if you could help us out tonight, because we'll be at Symphony and unable to be with you, but very nice to be with you. Well, thank you. And, well, we're going to do our best. Our local public stations all over the country are coming through to put on this kind of programming when it's particularly important in the life of this country. So thanks so much. Take care. See you later. Bye-bye.